Hey, Mama Chris here. So, a lot of you guys are not spiritual, and a lot of you guys are spiritual, and a lot of you guys are seeking spirituality because you see that the earth is changing very, very fast, and a lot of you are going to churches in droves. And I just wanted to touch on victory for you. There are a lot of people in church that pray and beg God, but they don't seem to have victory. They're still run by addictions, by judgment of others, hate. Why? Why are they not getting the victory, even though they are doing all the right things that the church has said to do? And then there are those in New Age and such that believe um, that they are God having a human experience and that they are in control of their reality. Um, and it's actually a mixture of both. And I wanted to talk to you guys about that because I want you to be victorious. I want you to understand the magic of how you work with your thoughts, feelings, and emotions, and how that literally creates your reality. Remember, your heart is the projector, earth is the screen. Heart and earth are the same word. So your heart is projecting your reality on to the earth screen. And you are a spirit. You are of the spirit, the all that is. And you have a soul, which is, if you picture the spirit as a diamond, you are a fractal of that diamond. And that's your soul. That's your imprint of you, who you are. And who you are in your essence, not your name, not your titles, not your status, but your essence. When you go within and you are like, who am I? Me personally, I'm I'm overjoyed, loving, like I just want to love. I'm like a dog. I'm just like I just want to love everybody, and it makes me sad when people don't get along, and it makes me sad when we as humans um, are so busy looking at other people, projecting onto them because they're all mirrors of us, that we just can't get along with each other, and it makes me sad. Um, and now I've been able to see that through more than ever, to be able to understand that they're having their own view, their own reality, and I'm having my own reality. And sometimes our realities just aren't in tune with each other. We're like in we're like in tune in two different, completely different stations, trying to get along with people at work and get along with our family and get along. And sometimes it's like they kind of seem right and you kind of seem right. It's because we're seeing two totally different realities. So I wanted to show you guys the magic of how you can talk as a spirit with a soul having a body. So your body, your name, your status, your programming, your trauma that covered your soul is not who you really are. And so we're trying to peel back the layers of all of that trauma and programming and get back to your essence. Um, I would like to think that at our very essence, underneath all the programming and the trauma and everything that we've experienced, that we really want to be one. We want to love each other. We want to get along. We want a peaceful earth, you know? I believe that there are some beings that would rather manipulate and control others to go their way than to have harmony between mankind. I do believe that. And I do believe there's a place for them, and the contrast needed in order for us as spirit to have an experience. But we'll go more into that later. Right now, what I want to talk about rereading um, Jesus's words, and guys, I'm not religious here, and I'm not speaking from a new age or a Christian context. I'm trying to combine the both because Jesus was made the mascot for religion, but in his essence, he was source in flesh, trying to get us to wake up and remember the things that I'm saying right now, that we are spirit dreaming and we're having this experience all separately, individually, as source, having these dreams. And Jesus was trying to get us to wake up and realize that, and to say, hey, don't be asleep anymore. Don't let life happen to you. Let you have the control over the way your life turns out. You've always had the control. You've been controlling it with your thoughts, feelings, emotions, and imagination. But you were so deceived into thinking that you were in lack and that you were separate from source, and that you have been creating a very fear-based reality. So I hope I'm making sense so far. And I just want to say too, I'm not special, and I'm not trying to act special. And I'm when I say I'm the 144,000, it's a frequency. It's not a special number of people or anything. So I just want to put that out there. And if I don't resonate with you, it's okay. I love you, and I know you're on your journey. And I want you to know, guys, that you're never lost. And if me teaching that is wrong, then let me be wrong, because you are never lost. You are a part of source. Do you have any idea how lonely source would be if we didn't exist? That we can interact with each other because we're created as being able to have our own thoughts, feelings, and emotions separate from each other. It's beautiful, and it would be a very lonely thing if we didn't have our that individuality. So we should be celebrating it instead of trying to make everyone like us. It would be a very, very boring world, wouldn't it? So we're going to reread Jesus's words, because he was really trying to teach us these concepts on prayer through the union lens, not as lesser human beings begging a big God, but as awakened children aligning with their own source. Number 1, Our Father who art in heaven, Matthew 6:9. Traditional read, God is far away in heaven and we're down here small. The union read, heaven is not a location in the clouds. Jesus said, heaven is not out there and it's not over there. It's the higher dimension of your own being. Saying Our Father in heaven is like saying, I recognize the source field that is beyond me and within me. Jesus uses the word Father to remind you that you came from the source. That's your home. That love that you crave, that unconditional love, that's where you come from. That's your home. And that intimacy is your true identity. So that's why Jesus used such an intimate word like Father, because he was trying to say, guys, this isn't some God in the sky with a whip and chains ready to judge you and throw you in hell. This is your Father. Like he begot you from his heart and love with the what I like to call, he's the space holder, and the spiral is spirit, is mother, and their love together creates us. Number 2, ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and it will be open. Matthew 7:7. Traditional read, God only gives if you ask the right way. And he's like this, maybe I'll give them this if they're good enough. That's not the way God works at all. Union read, you're in union with source. You're one with source. Jesus is teaching the law of resonance. Okay, remember, we're energy beings. We're energy beings. So what do we want to do? We want to align with that higher frequency. And as we align, get out of the lower frequencies and align with a higher frequency, it's resonance. So you're resonating with your union with spirit. Asking is intention. Seeking is alignment, and knocking is persistence of focus. The door is your awareness. The moment you align with the frequency of what you desire, thoughts, feelings, emotions, with love, and you're picturing it, you're envisioning it, how excited you would be. And then you ask in your heart. Remember, asking is intention. You have intention for this to happen in your heart, and you are aligned with source, with that love. The frequency of what you desire, the door opens. It's not a cosmic vending machine. It's a consciousness shift. I hope that makes sense, guys, because this is the magic. This is how we literally start creating and changing our reality. And if you're not happy with your reality, I want you to know that you can change it. Number 3, whatever you ask in prayer, believe that you have received it and it will be yours. Mark 11:24. Traditional read. If you pray hard enough, God might do it. Beg, beg, beg. Pray, pray, pray. No, no, no. That is not the way it works. The Union read. This is Manifestation 101. Jesus is teaching that prayer is creative imagination fused with faith. So you've got to imagine it, and then you've got to believe that Spirit is going to make it happen. Spirit is not, I'll tell you this because I want you to really understand this. Spirit isn't going, well, they're aligned with what I think is okay, so I will let them have it. No, if you are desiring it, that is spirit, because soul and spirit are already aligned. We, in our mind and body, we think that when we desire something that we've got to pray and beg for it or it won't happen. But that's not true, because your soul is aligned with source. So if you are having a desire to change your job, for a relationship, for whatever, that is coming from spirit. And you're supposed to have it. If you're passionate about it, if it's your heart's desire, you are supposed to have it. So don't think that there's somebody in the sky denying you what your heart desires. That's where faith comes in. That's where you can pray believing you already have it. Jesus says if you're going to pray, believe that you're going to get it. And this is the reason why you're going to get it. Because if you're desiring it, that very desire is coming. You can trust it. It's coming from source. It's coming from spirit. It's coming from your soul, which is aligned with source and spirit, which means that you can really envision it, imagine it, see how excited you are when you're getting. And then when spirits and your soul, this aligns, and you have it. Like I pray, I want to see a feather. And then I believe I want to see a feather. I imagine seeing the feather. I imagine picking up the feather. I imagine how wonderful it's going to be. And then I say, Spirit, I really want to see a feather, or I need to see a feather, or you don't really need, you could feel like you need, but usually it's more aligned with desire. We'll say desire instead of need. I desire to see a feather. And you close your eyes and you're just like, you envision seeing that feather. And then you say, yes, I believe I'm going to find it. I'm telling you guys, you will find the feather. Like, it will appear, but let spirit have fun showing you how it's going to appear. It doesn't have to be exactly the way you imagine it. And that's the play that we have between our higher self, spirit, and who we are as these kind of blind, not being able to see the whole picture in these avatars right now, in these bodies right now. Believing you already have it collapses the gap between you and the desired outcome. The Father isn't withholding from you. You're just stepping into the state where it already exists. This is the power that you have, my friends. You have the power. Once you start believing that you have the power, just start testing it with a little thing, maybe seeing a number sequence or whatever, and let spirit show it to you, and it's going to build your faith, where we are really going to be able to start healing others in this world and changing others because we put it to the test and we know it works. So number 4, your Father knows what you need before you ask him. Matthew 6:8. Traditional read. God already knows, so don't bother asking too much. Not the way it works. Union read. Source is the intelligence inside every atom of your being. Yes, spirit is experiencing through you, with you, as you. Asking isn't to inform God, it's to awaken you. Asking is because source is the one putting the desire in you. So you're not asking for something that source doesn't want. The asking is to awaken you, because when you see how source brings it along, because you know this and you pray in faith, you're going to go, oh my God, this is real. Prayer is not persuasion, it's participation. It is a dance. It's a dance with you, it's with me as Christy, and with spirit. We're dancing. I'm feeling the desire, and I'm going, this is from you. Okay, I'm envisioning it. I'm thinking about it. I'm going, wow, this would be amazing to have this, and excited, how excited I'm going to be when I get it. And then I release it to spirit and I say, yes, I am aligned with you on this. Let's make it happen. I totally believe it. And then, I mean, guys, I've done this over and over again. It works. It really, really works. So I want to say it one more time. Prayer is not persuasion. You're not trying to persuade God to agree with you and give you what you want. It's participation with spirit. It's the conscious act of aligning your awareness with what source already wants to flow into you. So remember, desire is source giving that desire to you so that you can think about it, manifest it, however you want to call it, imagine it, desire it, see it happening, playing in your mind. And then source goes hee and picks how he wants to deliver that desire to you. It's really a beautiful dance. The last one I want to say is the kingdom of God is within you, Luke 17:21. Traditional read, God's kingdom is futural and external. It's not here and now. It's somewhere in the sky that you're going to go to after you die. And yes, if you lived a life of love, if you follow Jesus and really embody his teaching and love, and you're not a jerk, and you get it, it's to be love. When you die, you're going to experience a beautiful heavenly experience, because that's what you're aligned with. That's what you already aligned yourself with. And so, but traditional read is not future and external. The union read is, this seals the deal. Jesus never meant pray to an external boss. He was pointing everyone inward. The kingdom, the state of wholeness, union, God consciousness is already inside of you guys. Prayer is simply the tool to access that inner kingdom, and that going within and doing this dance. This really is something important I want to point out right here. The kingdom of heaven is inside of you. It already existed inside of you. The church, and the church has done a lot of good, but the church has not taught properly, because I do really believe that it was a kind of a brainwashing to keep us dependent on other systems outside of ourselves. And that just doesn't go with the church. It goes through the governments and the politics and everything. Keep the humans needing them to go through. And that's because they've been using us as a battery. And I've talked about that before. But when we go within, you see, we were born with God within us. But we were also born with a shadow part of us. And that's the yin and the yang. We have light and we have darkness. I want to point out that humanity was lost at one point, and Jesus did come as source in the flesh, and he did say that I have to give my life for a ransom for many, and he did say it is finished on the cross. And a lot of the new age people, they don't want to acknowledge that. They want to say that Jesus didn't do that. And I'm telling you, this is my own personal, what I have discovered through my downloads with Source, and our brothers and sisters behind the veil, that we do have a light and a shadow side. The shadow side of us could not go into the throne room of God. And what that means is source is the highest frequency of pure light. There's no distortion. There is no shadow in source. And that's where we came from originally. That's our home, that pure, unconditional love. And don't we want to experience that again, right? But humanity couldn't because we had that shadow. So it wasn't that we were born into sin. It was that we were born with a shadow. You weren't born being a bad person, okay? You weren't born being like rotten and you're bad and you can't go back home because of that. You were born with shadow so that we could experience duality. But still, we got so lost in that shadow that source had to intervene and come in. Enter Jesus. Jesus was source, and this is my personal belief, full, perfect source embodied, showing us how to love, that we are so much more special than what the church back then was telling humanity that they were. We were being ruled by the dark archonic beings, the dark elite, which is still ruling the world today, by the way, but it's about to come to an end. And he was showing us the way, but he did say, I must give my life for a ransom for many. And what he did was he, with his blood, it's not metaphorical. And I'll tell you why, because a physical debt had to be paid. And what he did on the cross with his blood, when he said, it is finished, he told the archons, you cannot keep these people reincarnating in this loop anymore. This soul just having to reincarnate. He showed us through what he did on the cross. He broke that soul reincarnation loop that humanity was stuck in. So he opened the cage for us, but it's up to us to walk out the door. And that's just really, really important. So I just want to say that Jesus did give his life as a ransom for us. He cloaked our shadow so that we could go back into the throne room of the Father. I've come a long way in a year. I've come a long way. But I would never on my own have been perfect enough to go into this perfect state where the Father is if I was stained. And Jesus, to me, cloaked that stain and paid that, covered that shadow for humanity once and for all. I believe that church taught eternal hell. I don't believe in it. I don't believe that we are ever lost. We are part of God's own heart, having an experience, and no one is ever lost. I believe that if we ever experience anything, whether it's on earth or after our life, any type of hellish experience, it's because of our own visions of lack or hate or judgment, and we're experiencing that because, like I've always said, whatever you put out is what you get back. So I hope that clears it up, because I just want everyone to know that Jesus did shed his blood and said to the archons, the price is paid, it is finished, you don't own these humans anymore. So they couldn't make us reincarnate, but they could fool us. They could fool us into reincarnating if we're not prepared. And that's why for those who know Jesus and accept him, when they die, and if they were to be faced with anyone trying to fool them to come back, they would be like, no, I don't need to go back because I don't have any sin, because Jesus covered my sin. And that's how that whole thing works. So here's the synthesis. Don't pray like you're a beggar. Pray like you're a co-creator, turning yourself back into the divine broadcast. Jesus wasn't teaching worship in the sense of self-erasure. He was teaching embodied union. I hope this helped you guys. I love you, and always hit me up with any questions. My guides told me that a lot of you watch me kind of, you don't ever say anything, but you're watching me, and I appreciate you. And you don't need to say anything. I just want you to know that if this is helping you, you don't have to say a word. I'm glad. And if you're past friends or family or anybody, and you don't let me know that you're watching, I just want you to know that I do know that you're watching, and I love you and I appreciate you so much. Much love to you guys.